Morning everyone, John from Not That Media here. The time and the day is May 15th, 2024. The time is approximately 8:30 in the morning, and this is a vlog which is going to appear in lieu of a full hotel review and walking tour. Yesterday I spent a significant amount of time walking the shark cabins, the Thorpe Shark Cabins, going through the rooms, showing my opinion of it, giving you an idea of what was going on. And at the time, it was quite a positive experience. It was a functional room. I enjoyed. Me and Joe had a long day in the park. We had driven over 2 hours, 21,000 steps in the park. So we were looking forward to getting our head down and just relaxing ahead of another great day. The sun's shining. We're ready to go. Yesterday, we had our streak continue with odd weather during summer period. So obviously Alton Towers was hailed and rained and winded out, and yesterday we had the rain and we had the wind again. We can see some of the storm clouds are starting to appear, but it's looking like it's a good day. Unfortunately, we did not have a very good experience with this. It's labelled a hotel. Some people may argue it's not a hotel. Now, this channel is a passion project for me right now. I'm hoping to get more subscribers. I'm hoping to progress in the world of social media and influencing, but I don't want to be a hate channel. I don't want to be a negative for the sake of negative. But I do think it's important not to whitewash your experiences when it comes to the park and the hotels. Now, the park has been exceptional. The hotel, if I'm going to be totally honest, was a very big letdown. It's not necessarily due to its location. The location is absolutely spot on. As you can see there, that's the entrance to the shark cabins. The entrance was spot on. It is literally walking distance to the park, so you cannot complain about that. However, I do want to go through what did happen in the evening, the way it was resolved or not resolved by Thorpe Park, and the fact that despite the fact I raised quite a significant complaint, that is going to go unanswered and ignored. So come along with me as I tell you about my stay at the shark cabins at Thorpe Park. I'm going to preface this video, and I'm going to wander around because the park is not open at the time of recording, but I'm going to preface this conversation by saying that we, Joanne and myself, have just gone into the Vibes kitchen for our breakfast. We were met by a very lovely lady by the name of Shelley, who was wide-eyed, big smile, really helpful, really accommodating, made us feel really welcome and really at home. And the breakfast here is fantastic. It is your normal kind of like hash browns, bacon, beans, all that kind of stuff. Your cereals, your drinks, and pictures will be appearing here because I didn't want to do a video. It even went, and I haven't seen this in these kind of places, they did even have waffles and things like that. So excuse the sound as we walk through because this is the arcadey kind of bit. But Vibes Bar and Kitchen, which is located here, was a really good time. And if I'm being honest, if it hadn't been for this restaurant, breakfast area, and members of staff like Shelley, my video would probably be much more negative and much more charged in terms of comment. When Joanne and I woke up this morning, I felt physically sick. I actually struggled to get out of bed. Joanne's back was hurting. And we've been thinking about it, because we've been in Thorpe Park yesterday, we've been trying to get our head around why. We had a feeling about this place, not in a negative way, but we had a feeling, and it struck us. Festival. It feels like a festival. So the rooms are compact, they are functional, as I kept saying, but they are not great in terms of quality. We paid £80 for our room because we are fortunate enough to have invested in Merlin Platinum passes, and there'll be videos about that coming soon. I just want to get a nice view, but I'm just being conscious of the speakers blasting music. I don't think it's copyrighted, but we just need to be careful not to drown me out because, well, maybe some people want to listen to that kind of music rather than listen to me talking. But when we say a festival, it's kind of like the accommodation is absolute bare bones. You are in a tent or a metal structure or a shed. You're paying quite a small amount of money comparably for the rest of the experience, but at the end of the day, you're so exhausted, you're probably hungover, drunk, that you just want to get your head down and you just basically want to pass out for the evening, ready for the next day's fun. So that's why we kind of relate it to a festival. I know that might sound like a bit of a weird thing to say to some people, but that I think that's quite a good term. So anyway, so Joanne and I spent all day in the park. We were there at opening, 10 o'clock, and we stayed till 5 o'clock. We did 21,000 steps, which for those of you who are interested, that is about 10 miles of walking. We rode a significant number of rides, big ticket rides. We didn't have to wait. We had a really good experience. We had a really good day. And we were ready to sleep. We were ready to just go to sleep. You know, we didn't want any hassle, any trouble. We weren't looking for any of the entertainment or any amenities. We weren't intending to stay out late or drink or anything like that. When you get in the room, as you'll see hopefully in the video, the room is small to say the least. In fact, it is tiny. It is borderline broom closets. I think Harry Potter would be happy staying in that room more than anybody. But you know, you look at it and you say, okay, look, it's got a shower, it's got a toilet, it's got a sink, it's got a television, the bed looks reasonably comfortable, let's just enjoy it. So we fell asleep, I want to say about 9 o'clock, 9 to 9:30, because we've been up since 6 a.m. that morning, so it was a long day. The room next to us proceeded for the next 5 hours to every 10 to 15 minutes go outside and slam the metal doors, and I don't know what was going on, if they were just partying or staying up all night or whatever it was, but they proceeded to be noisy. We could hear them through the wall, through the bathroom wall. The bathroom, other than a glass door, has no real layer of soundproofing between the bathroom and our room, so effectively the room is just one big room with a shower in it, so all we could hear was bang, bang. It's just like, wow. Okay, now let me just go on record saying that, look, if I pay, we paid £80 for a room, I am not expecting high luxury. I'm expecting bare bones, and that is what the room was. I expect to be able to sleep, is what I would say. I expect to be able to get my head down. The bare minimum you should be able to do is sleep, and we could not sleep. When these metal doors were closed, the reverberation through the metal boxes made you feel physically moved. You could actually feel it through your chest, and that is an unpleasant experience. Every time you're just starting to fall asleep, and bang again, and it goes through you again, and you feel it. They have non-slamming toilet seats, but they have not put any kind of layer of soundproofing or slam proofing on metal doors. So that was the main issue of the evening. At 1:20, after waking up and seeing AEW on the television, I then called reception to say, look, we don't want to cause a fuss, we don't want to be a big problem, but it is 1:20 in the morning, and for nearly 3.5 hours this noise has persisted. Now, the gentleman I spoke to was polite, he was very accommodating with his apologies. He said that someone would come out, and that raised concern with me, because it's one of those where it's like, you complain about the room next to you and then someone goes banging on the door saying we've got noise complaints. Next thing you know, if people have had a few, or you know, they're particularly motivated to do such things, they may come knocking on the door. So we obviously had the not so exciting experience of thinking, great, we were assured that wouldn't happen. It did not happen, but I do not believe anybody came out. So in terms of sleeping, I've had about 3 hours sleep right now. The sunglasses are on, not just for the sun, but it's because I don't want to have the ghostly, ghastly image of my bagged eyes on YouTube forever. And I think if those of you who may be eating your breakfast could probably not have that privilege of seeing this face or these eyes, bloodshot and so tired. But legitimately, all kind of silly comments aside, it was an unpleasant night's sleep. Now that was just one problem. The slamming of the doors and the noise next door was insane. Now, you can't blame Thorpe Park for that. Not that media. I'm sure some people will say, you can't blame rowdy people next door. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Thorpe Park will do their very best to accommodate us and make sure that we feel comfortable, that we're having a positive experience, etc. But at the end of the day, soundproofing is a major function of a hotel or a cabin or any kind of accommodation. Now, I paid £80 this year. I'm going to go on to some other problems we had in a moment because, as I say, some people might say, oh, well, you only had one bad night's sleep. It is Tuesday. It is not summer holidays. It is not a public holiday. It is a Tuesday night this happened. If it was a Friday night or a Saturday night, I would give the benefit of the doubt. Kind of like, look, you know, it's Saturday night, it's Friday night in a theme park. The alcohol has flowed. People are just having a good time. But this is a Tuesday off season. We shouldn't be able to hear that kind of noise, and we shouldn't have to experience that kind of, it's going to sound a little bit maybe cliched, anxiety of that of doors slamming, and the thudding across the floor was another problem as well. The floorboards outside, or the decking outside, is hollow. So every time someone walked at a slight pace or was running, you could just hear boom, 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 boom. And again, because the door doesn't have any proper sealant on it, it would make the door rattle as well. That's like the buoyancy of this floor. So anyway, what I was trying to say then was, we paid £80 and 80 pence because we are fortunate enough, because of this journey that I'm hoping you guys are going to follow me and continue to follow me. I want to be truthful, I want to be open, I don't want to be a hate speaker, I don't want to put negativity out there for the sake of negativity, but when bad things happen, I am not going to put a smile on my face and say to you, because in 2024, money is hard for everybody, travelling is hard for everybody, that purse is getting squeezed more and more and more. I'm not going to tell you guys, oh yeah, go and stay at this place, and then for you to have a negative experience similar to mine, because at the end of the day, Swarm's just coming past. It's a great ride. At the end of the day, this should be a holiday. It is advertised as a short break holiday. So I paid £80 and 80 pence because, as I say, we're lucky enough to have the Merlin Pass because of this journey I'm going on. I wanted to invest in something so that I didn't have to worry about paying for tickets, and I had the ability to go when I want, whenever I want. So I took that plunge. So I paid a discounted rate for my hotel room. More on that on another video, a more positive video, but I looked this morning at how much this room would, the same room would cost tonight if you did not have a Merlin Pass. To stay in this room for one night with 2 days worth of tickets is £159 for two people. Obviously more people will cost more because of tickets. So £159 for essentially a room is what you're paying for. That is a very expensive cost. Now I know you could argue, well, you've got 2 tickets in there, John, but okay, let's remove the £60 from that £150 for the tickets. A £100 room is what you're paying for. Issues which we have experienced include, and as I am recording this, I've just literally had a message across the top of my phone from Joanne to say that I actually aired this when I was in the room as a caution, that the bathroom, because of the way the door is, I had fear that the open top shower would mean that water would go into the room. Literally before I started saying this, message popped up, water is coming into the bedroom from the shower. So you have got showers that leak into the bedroom. The air conditioning is set to automatic and should cool the room. Do not leave it on automatic, get it changed. Me and Joe were sitting on the bed waiting, and we discovered, or Joe discovered, that the mirror in the room was actually steaming up because there are 2 jets at the bottom of the bed which is pumping out the air conditioning air. It was pumping out hot air. And there are no instructions, there is no information whatsoever. So, you know, we're quite tech savvy people. But it took us a good few minutes to actually work out how to turn this thing down to cold, and even then it was not that cold. I managed to fool myself during the park video that actually when you come out and you go back in, it's really cold. Great, fantastic. I'm gonna make a move now towards the hotel because it's getting a little bit busy here. They're getting ready to open, so there's lots of noise and things. So the air conditioning is not functional. It is not functional for that kind of a space, is what I would say. So one of the problems I also had with the room is that the shower being connected to the room means there is no privacy. Because there are the 2 bunk beds, the double bed and the countertop, the space in between, you could probably have 2 adults standing shoulder to shoulder and you would fill that space. So if you're a family of 2 adults, 3 children, 2 adults, 2 children, if you're a new couple who, just going out into the world for the first time and you haven't really been with each other for too long, you may find that you're having those embarrassing moments where you are having to negotiate the room post or pre-shower and things like that, because there's no dressing area whatsoever. Not to be, lewd or anything like that, but it's something to consider. I don't think people think about that when you do it. Normally with these kind of rooms, the shower is big enough, it is cordoned off that you can go into the shower, you can be comfortable, you can get washed up, you can get clean, you can get yourself ready for the day, and you can step out, look at me, prim and proper, ready for the world. You can't do that in this room. And you can hear everything. You can hear the shower, you can hear the toilet, hear everything. So if you're going to go to these rooms, just make sure that the people you're going with, you're comfortable experiencing and sharing those kind of moments, because it's, it can be embarrassing if you're fresh friends or a new couple or something like that. But anyway, so the shower it looks like a good shower. It's a rainfall shower. It does cause a leak into the room, so you just need to be careful of that. I think one of the other complaints I have is that when you are in bed, now let me just make sure that there's an understanding of the rooms. The rooms have no windows other than probably a plate-sized porthole on the door, which has a piece of card on it which serves as your do not disturb or come on in kind of notice. The walkway is directly outside, so you cannot leave the porthole open. Unless you want to wake up in the middle of the night with the potential of Michael Myers staring at you through, you just can't do it. So there is no natural light inside the room. That's not necessarily a big deal. That's not necessarily a problem. I'm not one of those people where it's like I must have natural light, but it's just something to be aware of. That being said, when all the lights are turned off, and you should be in that lovely pitch black darkness that you can just sit down and enjoy yourself and sleep, and just enjoy the evening and just relax. Unfortunately, where the door is and above the door is a green light, which I'm going to assume is for health and safety reasons, but this green light fills the room. It's not even a little one, it's like a big green light fills the room. Photograph attached. The photograph has not been docked, it's not been altered in any way. That was my view from the bed. Now again, you've got the noise problems, you've got the banging, you've got the physical feeling problems. In fact, this walkway will give you an idea. If I just step back a little bit, because I don't want to, the welcome centre's there, so I don't want them to be putting their head out going, what's going on? So that was the sound. I don't know how much that's come out, but that was the kind of sound we did. These floors are they're just hollow and they resonate through the whole thing. So that should give you that. So anyway, that green light kept us awake. So if it wasn't the noise, it wasn't the banging, this horrible green light was just there. And I know people are going to argue health and safety, and I know it has to be there, but come on, people, you should be able to be in the dark, and you should have to not be disturbed by audible noise, banging and reverberation from the tin pot room that we were staying in. As I said, I understand theming. I understand the idea that we want to be inside the shark. I love the idea of the repurposing of the shark. I think it's all really good stuff. It's all really interesting stuff. But a situation like this should have the TLC to offer a decent night's sleep. It shouldn't be, I'm not expecting a premium service. When you're paying £80, it's not premium. But when there are Premier Inns within 5 miles that are cheaper than this experience, it's disappointing that Thorpe Park feels that this is actually an acceptable room. Now, just to give you that view again, and one thing to save people money, because I have to confess, in my frustration, pre-breakfast frustration, let's call it, when I was tired and I was moody and I was feeling groggy, and frankly, I considered going home. To be perfectly honest, I said to Joe, look, you know, the plan was to actually film. We didn't do a lot of content yesterday. The plan was to do most of it today once we got the lay of the land and we can actually sound like we know what we're talking about when it comes to the park. So I think we can do that now. So I woke up and I was exhausted. I wanted to come home. I wanted to finish. But anyway, one thing that I want to bring to your attention is while I was sitting here doing the sums and having a look at the local Premier Inns in the area, and the fact that if you can stay in a Premier Plus room within 5 miles and get your ticket, and it is cheaper than the £159 I have stated. So I'm going to talk a little bit quieter because obviously these rooms are in use. So these rooms, and I have mentioned them before. I mentioned it in my tour video. I don't know how much of the audio will be on those videos, but they'll certainly be appearing. These themed rooms, so there's a Colossus, there's a Hyperia, there's the Swarm, because the Swarm is there, in fact. So you get your hotel view of the Swarm. I say hotel view, you've got a porthole. But you can see some of these doors have got the Swarm, they've got Colossus, they've got all these kind of things. These are premium rooms. Now, I can't quite remember how much, but it'll flash up. I want to say these are about £210 to £220, these rooms. These rooms, and the pictures will appear, are identical to my room. You are paying for pictures. You are paying for the collage, rather than it being the generic Thorpe Park Shark Bay one. You are paying for pictures of the Swarm. So from a money saving perspective, because I do genuinely want people to save money, I don't want people to feel like they're paying over the odds for things. The ride testing Swarm there. Good ride, really good ride. But these special themed rooms cost more, £50 more for a painting on the door. So do not waste your money paying for a premium, quote unquote, premium room, because the room you will receive is identical to the one. And in fact, the photographs, they don't even hide it. They don't even pretend they're not identical. They're the same room. Exactly the same room.
They're the same picture.
So just be mindful of that when you're booking. You're paying £50 for basically stickers and decals in your room. The rooms are exactly the same, the layout's exactly the same. Don't waste your money. Save your money. That's £50 you could save. Now, one of the things that because I looked at the reviews, and I looked at good reviews, I looked at bad reviews, and this place gets good reviews. It's currently got a 3.8 star review on Google Review. Great, good. People are happy here, people enjoy it. Fantastic, good for them. I had a really bad experience here. I did not enjoy it. I am not a snob, but I did not enjoy it. And one of the things that I've seen put into this, into the star review matrix that people put in there to say about their stay, is the fact that people keep saying, well, you get fast track. You get a first hour of fast track. So the fast track makes up for the fact that the room is not necessarily of a good quality. That is nonsense. As far as I'm concerned, absolute nonsense. When we arrived yesterday at 10 o'clock on Tuesday the 14th of May, today being Wednesday the 15th of May, every single ride we went on, bar one was walk-on. The one thing that was not a walk-on was the ghost train, and the reason that wasn't a walk-on is because they had some technical issues or something, so they didn't start at 12 o'clock. We waited, I think, I'm going to say 10 minutes for the ghost train, purely because of the influx of people as a result of it not being open for the first, I think it was 45 minutes. So with the exception of the ghost train, every single ride, all day, I would say as well, I'm not talking about a beginning, opening, rope drop, however you like to refer to it, all day, every ride was a walk-on. So if you're going to tell me, and I've got the shots of the app and things as the proof, just in case people say, If one of the main positives of you staying in this hotel is the fact that you get fast track, do not drink that Kool-Aid. Do not believe that. If you're coming in peak season, if you're coming in the weekends, if you're coming on your holiday, on the holiday period, there's going to be wait times. If it wasn't for the breakfast, I would be livid right now, is what I would say. If it wasn't for Shelley and her staff and the positive experience that those people came armed with, I would have been really angry today. Some people probably think I am angry. This is a long-winded, very unedited vlog, which is designed, well, virtually unedited vlog, which is designed to inform, hopefully give you a little bit of a smile. I want to share my experience so that you guys don't have to have the same experience. Shark Bay Cabins is a average hotel, is what I would call it. The rooms are functional, they are clean, they are basic. You do not get any thrills, you do not get anything special. The space is cramped. The spacing for the shower is cramped. The shower being connected means that you've got the hot air, the humidity, you've got water leaking into the room. The lack of soundproofing in the evening. I mean, you can see, I'm not going to knock on it, but this is metal. This is just solid. This is literally just repurposed storage cases. So when these doors slam, it resonates through the whole thing. If you have the ability to come to somewhere like this and ignore that, that's fine. Good for you. I'm glad, genuinely glad. But I can't. The convenience of its location to the park is great. It's a 2-minute walk, but you need to weigh up what's important to you. Would you rather walk out the park, drive 3.5 miles to a Premier Inn, get a Premier Inn Plus room, get a decent night's sleep, get a good room, get a good night guarantee as well, because having looked into the Thorpe Park complaints procedure, I have heard that they are a no refund policy company as well. So if you get your fingers burnt here, don't expect any money back from Thorpe Park according to this. If that's not the case, I'll follow that up in another video, but the initial reports suggest that it's tough luck, basically. Or they will give you half-price tickets, which when you're a Merlin pass holder is completely pointless. I would genuinely recommend, if you are, that's another thing I didn't really mention as well, I'll go through that now, the beds. The beds are not comfortable for me, and they have this thing, which I'm going to try to explain, but I'm sure you guys know, where the bed frame is in line with the bed. So when you try to get out of bed, if you're in the double bed and you have to climb over your partner, wife, husband, spouse, whatever it is, you have to literally climb over them. And because of how spongy the mattress is, if you miscalculate, which bearing in mind obviously you're trying to crawl over somebody in the middle of the night to go to the toilet, you're either going to go knee first into them or you're going to go knee first into the wooden post, which I've done several times. So that is a painful experience. So if you have bad backs, physical problems, you're not of the best physical health, I mean, I could be healthier, but I consider myself to be healthy. You should not have to worry or concentrate on slamming your knee into wood in the middle of the night, no pun intended. And you should not be, your spouse should not be worried, or your partner should not be worried about getting kicked in the stomach in the middle of the night because you're climbing over a double bed in the darkness. Well, it's not even dark, is it? That wonderful green light that keeps you awake. So at least you can see because you've got a green light. That's dangerous as far as I'm concerned. That's really dangerous. If you've been in a park all day, you could cause a serious mischief for yourself or your partner. So take that on board as well. Again, I'm not forcing anybody to listen to what I say. If you're still with me, I really appreciate it. But at the end of the day, I want to be honest. To wrap this video up, because I know it's gone on long, we probably will not stay here again. We will come to Thorpe Park again, but based on the experience we've had and based on the positive Alton Towers experience we've had, we will not stay here again. It is not worth it for me personally. If it's worth it for you, good for you, great. You go ahead, and I hope you take some positivity from the other videos I have, and hopefully there's some tips and tricks in there for you as well. But for me personally, this is a one and done from a hotel experience. I would rather drive in, spend the day in the park all day and then drive home than stay in this hotel again. This hotel sullied my experience of the first day. It made me want to go home today And that's not me being radical or sensational or a hater or anything like that. That is honest. I woke up this morning and I wanted to go home as a result of this hotel. So I genuinely urge you to think twice if you are expecting not even a premium service, not even a luxury service, not even a good service. These are metal tins that have been converted into rooms. Room with bunk beds, double beds. I do not know how a family of 2 adults, 2 children could spend more than an hour in that room without going absolutely off the wall. There's no tables, there's no side tables, so there's nowhere to store your phone, there's nowhere to store your watches or your rings or your bits and pieces. You've got to go and put them over next to the kettle. So if you're somebody who likes to look at things in the night, or sit and look at your phone as part of your decompression, you're gonna have to get in and out of bed. There's nowhere to store your drinks, so there's no side tables, there's no main table. So, and because of the sponginess of the bed, Joanne and I had to negotiate a little bit of a, not slalom, but a little bit of a exercise to just get in bed with a coffee, because there's nowhere to sit. You can sit on the edge of the bed, but because of the wooden frame around the bed, just wait for that helicopter, there's nowhere to sit in the room. The sponginess of the bed means that if you sit on the edge of the bed, you actually are sitting on the wooden beam, which, funnily enough, and I'm not an old man, I'm in my late 30s, it made putting my shoes on difficult. I'm too young for that problem. But there's nowhere to sit. You either sit on a bunk bed and you're crunched all in like this, oh yeah, I'll have my drink please, or you're kind of sitting on a bed, kind of teetering with the back of your thighs in pain. That's not a holiday. That's not normal, people. That's not a service you would expect from a landmark premium theme park. Merlin Entertainment own all of this. They own Alton Towers, they own Thorpe Park, Madame Tussauds, Chessington World of Adventure, Legoland, etc, etc, etc. You would expect a level of continuity in their service. It is not here, is my answer to that. The service of Alton Towers, comparable to this, and Alton Towers was on par in terms of cost. Alton Towers feels like, it feels like the Ritz compared to this place. And Alton Towers was good. I enjoyed Alton Towers. Please check out that video. Shameless plug while I'm having one of my rants. It's a good hotel. I enjoyed it. We will go back. Thorpe Park is a great theme park, and I hope you do watch and enjoy the other videos. It is a good theme park with great rides. We had unique experiences. We enjoyed ourselves. We walked out with smiles on our faces, and all we wanted to do was just lie down and sleep. Just be dead to the world, forget, just relax, and then start the next day afresh. The sun's shining. We can have a good time. So this gentleman, I don't know who he is, couldn't time it better, and he did it on my other video. This gentleman, who is now disappearing, but you can hear the music, you see the waves from his speedboat, he proceeded on the hour, virtually every hour, to drive around blasting music. Like, again, get off my lawn, old man kind of moment, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, ironically, the plane. Ironically, when we read the reviews before we actually came here, one of the chief complaints we received was the fact that because of the Heathrow Airport... Where have you gone? There you go. Oh, get rid of that chrome dome. Because of the Heathrow flight path, one of the complaints we kept seeing was the fact that the noise of the planes was too much. And there were complaints, there were 1-star reviews, there were do not go here on Facebook kind of posts. That was the least problem we have had in this hotel. Excuse me, that's the hash browns coming back. That was the least problem we had, was those planes. We've got jet skiing, speedboat people with music. We've got corrugated metal doors that when you slam reverberate through the building. You've got people on a Tuesday night who seem to think it's appropriate to keep you awake at 2 o'clock in the morning. You've got reception desks that say they're going to do things and then they don't. You've got so much unfortunate negativity as a result. Here he is. For £159 with your tickets, is it worth it? You guys be the judge. You decide. It is your money, it is your life, it is your experience. I'm only here to inform you of my experience. I am not going to sit here with a big smile on my face saying that I had a fantastic experience. I had a fantastic experience from a theme park perspective. Arguably, this is one of the worst stays I've ever had, and we will not be coming back here. But make your own mind up, is what I would say to that. I'm not here to tell you what to do, I'm here to tell you what I have done. I think that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you enjoy the old man soapbox moment. As I say, I want to stay positive, I want to stay good, I want to stay true on these videos. And unfortunately, when you have bad experiences and there is money involved, it would be inappropriate of me not to make you aware of it, because at the end of the day, if you go out and spend a lot of money on an experience and it doesn't come to be true, you should be aware of it. And everybody likes to say how great things can be. When it comes to hindsight, people forget the problems, people forget the negative experiences with time. By the time I finished my breakfast, it's only because of this video that I had to keep it in my mind. The wonderful thing that Shelley, made us feel accommodated, the food, we were fine. But it needs to be, documented, I think. So if you like this video, please do subscribe to my channel. I'm getting, I think, a decent number of views, getting a decent number of views on a daily basis, which is really appreciated. The channel is still really early in it's in its infancy. On the metric or the analytic that I had, I believe only 20% of everybody watching is subscribed. I would really appreciate your subscription. I would really appreciate, getting the channel out there. This is a passion project, as I keep saying. I don't intend or want to be the next YouTube millionaire or sensation. I just want to impart, good times, good experiences, give you some information, and I would like you all to be along for the journey. So please do like and subscribe. And with that, until next time, stay scared. As soon as you come in and close the door, you're greeted with this really nice blue mood lighting. There's a mural above the bed which shows the Shark Cabin theming and the Thorpe Park Resort. We paid for a standard room, and as you can see, we get a double bed. Sorry for the strobing on the light, it's just the way it is, and a bunk bed. The shower and the toilet are there, which I'll show you in a moment. Got plenty of space for storing things. Get the 3 drawers, towels, loo roll, place to put your clothes and your suitcase. Tea and coffee making facilities. We do get the USB ports, which is a really nice point on this one. Obviously the Alton Towers Resort did not have these, and you got your 2 plugs, another plug there. Got a nice big mirror. To adjust the lighting, as you can see, there's some nice instructions here just to say, right switches for the mood light, press it and wait a few seconds for it to turn off, so we'll give that a go. Oh, no. Yeah, so you literally just turn on and off, and then the room is lit up, as you can see. The theming, other than the mural, has to be said, it is rather on the basic side in that it is just white walls. The beds, the bunk beds, it has to say, you can see it has seen better days, but again, if you've got kids, it doesn't really matter, especially if it's only one night. It is quite a functional room. We paid with our Merlin discount £80.80, so for one night, we are literally, I'd say, maybe 2 minutes walk from the park. It's a really good room in that sense. Obviously, the TV is above the bed. The bed sheets and the bed, again, just on that kind of plain white side with the Thorpe Shark. I can never remember what these things are, but the bedspread thing. There is air conditioning to change. It has to be said, these rooms are really hot. That you walk in and it's really hot straight away. You can see that there's a light up on the top bunk bed as well, so obviously if you're on the top bunk bed you don't have to get out. It has to be said, there's not really a whole lot to say about this room. I am going to do a tour of the hotel, but To be perfectly honest, when it comes to the hotel room, this is it. It is quite literally this one room with the bathroom there. There is no bath. It's simply a standing shower with a toilet. I think there's a sink in there. Well, there must be a sink in there because there isn't one in here. It's a very practical, very small room. If it's one night, it's just me and Joe, so there's only two of us, so we'll be more than comfortable. I would probably argue that if you've got a family, 3 or 4 people coming, it could actually become a little bit claustrophobic in that sense. There is a bottle of water provided, hot chocolates and bits and pieces, so you get all your normal amenities. And like I say, it's up to date with the USB stuff and the plug, so in that instance, can't complain. It's as up to date as it can be. But if I was to put my arm, if I was to touch the wall here, I can get to almost the length of this room, so you get what you pay for. I would say don't expect thrills, don't expect too much excitement, don't expect major theming. It's functional, it's quick, it's to the point, 2 minutes away. One of the things that I was really impressed with, and I have to say maybe it's because I didn't do the research properly, but I couldn't see it on the website, is because we're staying on the resort, we get between the hours of 10 and 11 unlimited fast passes on all the rides, which is a real benefit because obviously I believe similar to the Alton Towers, you have to pay per fast track. So if you do that, you can save yourself a good bit of money. Breakfast is included. It's at the Vibes restaurant, which is located in the main area when you come into the park. So again, that's about a minute walk from here. So you can't get any better if you want to have a holiday at Thorpe Park. You're right on the water, you're right next to the park, you're right next to the car park. Everything's within 3 or 4 minutes. There is a restaurant in the evening. I don't know if there's any kind of amenities or any kind of entertainment in the evening. They didn't say anything whatsoever to say that. So yeah, if you're looking for something cheap and cheerful, one night away, get it done, get all the convenience, free parking, fast passes in the morning, you can't really do any better. I thought I would show you the shower. It's, as I say, it's exactly like the room. It's really functional. It's that size, quite literally, when you walk in. I'm standing in the overhead shower. There looks like there's a really nice big shower head, so you can have a really good shower. It's not separated off. One thing I would probably warn against, and let me just flip the camera. One thing that shows me a little bit of concern is the fact, and maybe it's just me and who's going to really care, is the fact that there is actually a lip here under the door, and because this is a freestanding shower and there is no door to seal it off, you have to probably be very careful not to accidentally flood. It has to also be said that this door is actually jammed, so that's something to be aware of. I don't want to be negative, but I've got to say that the bathroom is probably I always feel with these kind of things that with a bathroom, the bathroom kind of sets the tone in terms of the cleanliness, the look of it. So you really want a good bathroom in a hotel. This is a functional bathroom. I can't say it's not, but look, we've got the sink, you've got the little bits and pieces there, we've got the toilet. It's all very nice and compact and proper, but it's very small, is what I would say. Very small. I can see you could probably only ever have one person in here at a time, so people who like to obviously put makeup on, dressing and all that kind of getting dressed and things like that, you might find it gets a little bit cramped very quickly. And as you can see, this door was in the main video of the room itself, but I've already managed to... So I'd say, before I go wandering around, in terms of cost, if you want something cheap and cheerful, this is fantastic. It's spot on. We paid 80 quid. I can't quite remember. I think it'd be about £100 without the discount. It is really warm in this room, is what I would say. I mean, I know I'm in the shower and the humidity, etc., but it is warm. I'm sweating profusely at this moment in time, so apologies for that. But it's because of the room. So make sure if you don't like a room warm, get straight in, get it adjusted. It's all very small, compact. In terms of what you get for your money, I would argue it's probably, I don't want to say it's on par with a Premier Inn or something like that, but it doesn't feel, compared to other theme parks where you have slightly better theming, slightly better understanding of what you're going to get, this is, as I keep saying, cheap, cheerful, to the point. It's very bare bones. It's clearly something that is functional, one night only. The theming I'll go on to when I go for a little wander outside, but as I say, you're paying for convenience more than actual theming and the luxury is what I would say. I would not describe this as a luxury hotel. I know that other hotels with theme parks can be described as luxury. I wouldn't say this was, but that's not a bad thing if you know what you're coming into. So this is a buyer beware kind of situation. If you're expecting luxury, you're not going to get it, but it's not bad for one night. Like I said before, so when you're staying here, you do get the 2 complimentary fast track, I should say, for 10 till 11 on the second day of your stay. You get your free complimentary parking. I've moved the ladder out of the way of the room. I mean, my bum is against the sink at this point in time, so it gives you an idea of how long the room actually is. I'm standing in the doorway of the bathroom, and that's the kind of space, but we've moved the ladder out of the way just to give it that little bit more space. But like I say, I think the price is good. I think the accommodation is reasonable is probably the word. I don't want to say it's bad because that's not fair. It is reasonable. There's lots of little convenient things, so you can store your bag. So you've got storage there and storage there. So there's plenty of storage and little hideaway bits to put your things in. So can't complain about the storage. Can't complain about obviously the number of beds. We only specified a double, and we've got a bunk bed and a double. Not that we need the bunk beds. I think it is not bad in any way. It is not a disappointment in any way, but like I say, without trying to sound negative, I do recommend that you just make sure you understand what you're coming for, because you're not paying high prices, therefore you shouldn't expect high quality. This is very, very standard, but it is not bad. I would have liked a ceiling fan. I have to say the air conditioning system, I'm not sure if it actually works properly. We have had to play around with it a little bit, and there is some air coming out of this vent here, but it's not strong and it's not cold. So we'll see how that goes on into the evening. Like I said, I don't want to be too negative about it, but it is something that people need to be aware of. Just do one last circle of the room. Appreciate this might be a little fractured in terms of going backwards and forwards, but I just think it's important that people can see exactly what they're getting, because at the end of the day, money's tight these days for everybody, so you don't want to pay out for something and get disappointed. Not bad, not brilliant, functional.